Hi, everyone. I'm Brenda Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us here at the Tarot Guild. We are going to be doing the workshop, Interpret Your Dreams Using Tarot. So just a little bit about dreaming. 1/3 of your life is spent sleeping. Everybody dreams. On average, we dream about 2 hours a night. And in that time, you can have 4 to 7 dreams. And each lasts on average 5 to 20 minutes. And we were talking about this before the show started. It is believed that 90% of your dreams are forgotten within 15 minutes of waking. And that is because your brain does not make the same chemicals when you're sleeping as when you're waking. So it's not you. And in an average lifetime, you will spend about 6 years dreaming. That's 2,100 days. Isn't that crazy when you look at it like that? And the reason I put this together was because tarot goes so well with dream analysis. And there's all sorts of dream analysis, but I'm the kind of person that likes to keep it simple. And it's also my core belief that you are the one that knows best what your dreams mean. So using your intuition and tarot is a really powerful, easy, wonderful way to analyze your dreams, and it doesn't take much. So you're going to see that. And tarot is a great tool to analyze your dreams because we can be objective to the outcome, unlike some other things when we're using tarot. And the symbolism in tarot just opens you automatically, intuitively. And symbolism is also the language of dreams. So it makes perfect sense to use tarot to interpret your dreams. And it can also help you expand your psychic sense and get that flow, that synchronistic flow going in your life. So you can incorporate your tarot practice into your dreams, and you can also incorporate your dreams into your tarot practice, and we're going to see that. So we're going to do our first exercise. So I want you guys to close your eyes. And I want you to bring to mind a significant dream. And by significant dream, that's really any dream you want to remember. Could be a recurring dream. So just take a moment, close your eyes, and recall a dream. And this is our first exercise. I learned this from a lady named Judy Dale, if anybody knows her. So here's what you're going to do. And I'd love to have a volunteer for this, but first I'm going to explain it. You're going to think about your dream, and then you're going to divide the dream into like major parts. And then we're going to number the parts. Try and keep it at 4 or less parts. So the 4 major kind of parts of your dream. And then you're going to put a tarot card face down for each part. Like I said, we're going high level here. We want to keep it for this at 4 cards. And when you're doing it yourself, you could maybe get more detailed, but this is really just to see how this works. So we're going to look at the cards one at a time in order and see how that connects to that part of the dream. So does anyone want to volunteer? You can either raise your hand on Zoom or put it in the chat.
I mean, I'll volunteer if nobody else wants to. I mean,
okay. Who said, was that Melody said that? Okay.
I mean, I'm sure other people want to, but if nobody does, I'll I'm all for being a guinea pig.
Okay, Melody, let's go for it. So I'm just grabbing a pen and a paper. Okay. So Melody, can you give me high level the parts of your dream?
You said
Or
high level.
give me high level your dream and then tell me how you put it into, sections.
Okay, what do you mean by high level?
Well, you don't want to go into too much detail
Okay.
right now.
Well, I generally have a reoccurring dream where I'm either traveling or trying to go somewhere or trying to move. I'm sure other people have this dream, and you can't get everything packaged, or you have too many clothes, or you can't get everything in the suitcase, or
Okay.
you just can't get it all, your stuff together. There's too much and you're overwhelmed by the stuff, or you can't get it, and the time is running out and you're needing to go, and you can't, get your things all together.
Okay. And how does that usually end for you?
I usually wake up
Okay.
frustrated.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna use 3 parts for this, and you tell me, Melody, if this feels right to you. So the first part is you're traveling somewhere, you're getting ready to go somewhere. The second part is that you cannot get everything into your suitcase. And the third part is that you end up feeling overwhelmed. Did I get it right?
Right. I actually had
Okay.
this happen in real life when I was in Italy traveling, and the bus was
Oh,
waiting on us, and for some reason I couldn't get all my clothes back into the suitcase. It was
oh,
kind of
wow.
interesting.
Were you having the dream at this point, or was that
Oh, I think it's something I've dreamed most of my life, but
most of your life? Okay. Now, do you have your cards with you?
I don't. I
Okay,
don't.
so I can pull the cards for you.
Okay.
So her first part is that she's traveling, she's going somewhere, and she can't. Well, actually, she's getting ready to go somewhere. Actually, that's the first part. So let's pull a card for that. So I got the 4 of coins. Okay. So how does that make you feel, Melody?
It's hard to see you. I'm trying to get you to pop up a little easier to in my oh, there it is. Okay.
4 of Pentacles.
Well, to me it looks like someone who's successful, maybe.
Okay.
But they're kind of holding things close.
Right. Okay.
Attached. Well, I mean, in my guide, it says strongly attached to materialistic pursuits.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave that. I just dropped my cards, so just give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so her second part is that she can't get everything into the suitcase. Let's pull a card for that. I got the Queen of Wands. So, Melody, how does that make you feel?
Well, it looks like someone who is in charge, who's cool, collected, and supposedly doing the right thing.
Okay. And then the third card is that you're feeling overwhelmed. So let's see what we got there. Oh, Five of Wands.
Chaos. Yeah. That's what it feels like.
Okay. So we got the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Five of Wands. So to me, from the Queen of Wands in the middle, and you're trying to, at that point, you're trying to stuff everything in the suitcase. Are you a little bit of maybe I don't want to say perfectionist, but just like a superwoman? Like you feel like you have to do it all?
I used to be. I'm not so much now, but
Uh-huh.
I used to be real high order, wanting to do things right. But now, everything, frankly, my house is in chaos right now. And that's probably subconsciously what a lot of it is now. But I
Oh.
didn't used to be that. I mean, at one point that's part of the reason the home got kind of cluttered, is because I was just going here, going there, working, running, doing a job, having a business, going to school. And so that could be accurate. Yes.
Okay. Well, I just remember when you first looked at this card, the word you used was orderly. So, maybe when you're feeling out of order, you feel like you have to do it all instead of, maybe tackling it in smaller pieces. Anybody want to add any insight to those cards? And Melody, when do you notice, is there an awareness of when you tend to have this dream? Have you been having it lately?
Well, I had a dream. Sometimes I have premonitions before people die, and sometimes they're accurate. And I had a premonition the other day that a male friend of mine died, and I was trying to get ready to go to the funeral and figure out what to wear, and it had that same kind of chaotic, not panicky, but kind of stressful. Can't find it, can't get organized. I've got to have this. If I go to the funeral, I've got to have this. Where is it? It had that same feeling about somehow I'm under a deadline and I can't get organized and I'm wanting to go, but it had that same feeling that it wasn't travel, but it had the same feeling.
Well, to me, it just seems like I would say, you would focus here on the Queens of Wands, and you don't have to be the queen at everything. You can, live life with balance. It doesn't have to be complete order or complete chaos. That's what I think this dream is about, balance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I actually used to have a black cat.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Was a black cat your familiar? Did you consider it a familiar?
Well, yeah, I mean, she came to me barely fit in the palm of my hand when I was just trying to recover from a near fatal car accident. And
oh, wow.
I didn't have any intention of keeping her. And I said, don't get comfortable. You're going to the pound Monday. Well, the weekend came, and anyway, I ended up having her 18 years, but her name was Puss Puss, but she was the only cat I ever had really as an adult. And anyway, there she is.
Well, the fact that she's showing up is that she may be, a guardian for you at night when you're sleeping, and you could call her into your dreams.
Yeah, she used to, when she was a kitten, she would sleep on top of my head right here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely the feeling that I'm getting too. So, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So, and I know we're going to talk at the end, so I'd love to hear how some of you did this at the end. And the other thing you can do is, once you've done this, you're welcome to pick an additional card, or like I said, when you're alone and you have time, here are more cards you can pick and some prompts, a little, this can be its own spread. You can just choose 3 spreads about the dream. Choose 3 cards about the dream. What's the message? How can I work with this and integrate this message? And what is the next step?
And that was the 4 of Wands, that last card.
That was a 5 of Wands.
Okay, thank you.
Which was perfect for your chaos feeling. But the 5 of Wands can also be collaboration. So maybe you can look at it like integrating your perfectionist side with your more chaotic side. Okay, so now we are going to do a little something different. We're going to do a short dream meditation. So if everybody would bring to mind a significant dream, and significant could be recurring or any dream you remember. So go ahead, close your eyes and just relax. Just take a minute, notice your breath. Just focus on breathing in, breathing out. Slowing down that breath. And now in your mind's eye, we're going to go back into the dream that you chose consciously. So go back into your dream and go consciously and really look around. See who's there with you. Really look at the details maybe that you didn't see in your sleep. Notice how you're feeling. Are you noticing different things now? Just keep observing them. Keep noticing the details of your dreams, the sights, the sounds, the feelings. Notice if there's any smells. Are you with anyone? Does this person represent someone in your life? Is there a certain imagery or a theme that dominates the dream? And ask your higher self, why are you here? Why did you choose this dream? What is it that you need to know by going back to this dream? And if you'd like, you can give the dream a new ending, maybe something to empower yourself. And taking your time, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you'd like to do this spread, you can. Not necessary, but you want to do the first card, what is new and significant. The second card, what's the message or theme? And the third card, what do you need to know about the ending? Or if you prefer, you can just do the 3-card spread, the method we just did with Melody, where you chunk out the dream and just pull cards like a storyline. And I'm just going to give you another minute or two to do that. And just remind you to pay attention to synchronicities over the next few days. Things that maybe appeared in the dream that you see in real life. We use that as validation or confirmation. And if you want to just wrap up your thoughts, we'll have time at the end if anybody wants to go over, if they have questions, or just tell us what happened. Most people do see new and significant things when they do this exercise. So try it again. Also, when you are on your own time. The next method that you can use is something that worked for me, and I call it cycling. And it's very synchronistic, just like tarot, just like dreams. When it's flowing, it flows. So I'm going to give you my example. At the beginning of this year, I had been focused, like a lot of us do after the holidays, on starting a new eating plan. I had gained some weight over the holidays and was feeling a little overwhelmed, like which path do I take? What direction do I go in? Um, and that night, I had a dream that I was in a house with these huge jars of candy, and I felt like I was obligated to eat it all. And that's a belief, I was raised in the 70s when you cleaned your plate, and um, that's something I've always had to work on, is knowing when to stop. So I immediately woke up, and I know Dax was saying, he had some dreams, but couldn't remember them. A great thing to do, even if you can't remember them, is to anyway just kind of get out of bed and pull a card. Well, I did that, and I got the Eight of Cups, which we recognize as, the walking away card. And it was very powerful for me as in relation to that dream. So I use it as my anchor to stay focused on healthy eating. And when I say anchor, I literally left myself a little dream altar for about 2 weeks. This one card was so powerful to me. That was the altar, the Eight of Cups. So when I felt overwhelmed, or I didn't know which way to go, or I wanted to do some emotional eating, I anchored myself and brought myself back to my intention, using that Eight of Cups. But it just felt so powerful that I wanted more. And I set an intention to get clarity on that Eight of Cup cards in my dreams. So this can take time, but for me, I think it took 2 or 3 nights, and I just knew that I had got my clarity. And I dreamed that I opened a health food restaurant, and it was a very powerful dream. I woke up, I pulled the Queen of Wands, and immediately an affirmation came to me. It was, I am in control of what I eat. So that is an example of a cycle. And I have lost about 7 or 8 pounds since New Year's. I've really cut back my emotional eating, and I feel like this process was a big part of it. I started doing EFT, or emotional freedom, the tapping technique, which probably a lot of you are familiar with. And I feel like this process really led me down that path. So this is kind of a recap of what I did, but you can start anywhere in the cycle. You don't have to go in this order, and that's why it's a synchronistic exercise. But for me, it was a dream, the dream about the big jars of candy. So start with a significant dream that you want to know more about. Pull a tarot card to clarify the meaning. If it resonates, use this card to set an intention to get clarity in your dreams. If not, try another card. And if you're not feeling it after you pull another card, just move on and try again. Again, this is an exercise in really feeling that synchronicity. And that clarification may or may not directly relate to the card, but it should at least relate to the theme of your dream. And like I said, be patient. You can't make this happen. You have to give it time. And that's another reason I suggest keeping a dream altar. I have a separate deck that I use just for dreams. And that's where, if you're a deck collector, you can have some really interesting, you can use some of your weirder decks, or, some of those really cool decks that you may not resonate with for just day-to-day readings, may be perfect for your dreams. So again, if you did have a clarifying dream, use that to create an affirmation focused on the clarity you received. So you just keep cycling, and you can start anywhere in the cycle. That is why I mentioned that you can use tarot in your dreams, or you can, use your dreams to get meanings from tarot. That's going through a cycle. So again, if anybody has any questions, we can address them at the end. Another thing I wanted to mention to you was liminal dreaming. And liminal means in between states, the waking and sleeping state, or the edge of sleep. So your brain waves, when you're in these liminal states, there's two of them. There's hypnagogia. That's the transition from being awake to being asleep. And then there's hypnopompia, and that's a transitional state from being asleep to being awake. And when you're aware in these states, when you just simply bring awareness to the states between waking and sleeping, there is so much there. And we've all experienced it, but if, like I said, you just bring conscious awareness to these two liminal states, it's very insightful. It inspires creativity. I've done a lot of dream work, and I have a hard time with lucid dreaming. I also have a hard time sticking to something for 30 days. You can do this whenever you want. It requires literally no training, and you'll see the mushrooms up there because it is the trippiest thing when you're aware of these states. And I'm sure you guys have had glimpses of that. I'd love to know. So feel free to chat it in, or we can talk after. Another fun thing to do is during either state, but I use hypnagogia, which is that state between being awake to being asleep. You can focus on a tarot card at that point, and you get a lot of insight. So that's an easy, free alternative to the lucid dreaming and all that other type of dream work if you're like me and have a hard time doing it. This one is so easy, and it has changed my life. So, tips for your dreaming and tarot practice. Track your dreams. You may get different card associations with your dreams in your tarot journal if you keep a tarot journal. And we were talking about this before the show. If you want to remember your dreams, you can grab your phone when you wake up and record what you speak or write them down. Even if as you're waking and you can't even think about where your phone is, repeat the major parts of the dream, even in your mind. And just saying those words, even in your mind, helps you remember them. You can also add a title to your dream that will help you remember them. Or if you can keep a deck near your bed, pull 3 tarot cards to create a title. Again, I mentioned this before, use a designated deck for your dream work, and you can rotate if you'd like. Also an excuse or reason to use some of those decks that you don't get to choose or use so much. And again, if you want, try a dream altar, or if you have a regular altar, put your cards from your dreams on your regular altar. And the more you go into that liminal state, especially with intention and awareness, that's all it takes, the better your tarot practice will be. It opens your third eye and develops your third eye. Yoga Nidra, I've been a Yoga Nidra, which is a third eye meditation instructor for over 10 years. And I realized one of the reasons I'm so attracted to it is that that's where it takes you. Yoga Nidra takes you into that state where you're not sleeping, but you're awake, but in an altered state. So it's a very powerful state for manifesting, third eye development, tarot work. And keep it simple. If you're like me and you follow a lot of dream work, classes, books, it can get really complicated, and I find that overwhelming. So find your own ways to use tarot. We just went over quickly 3 different ways, and your intuition. And remember, nobody knows what dreams mean better than you do. You don't need a book. Just try it with your own intuition. I mean, of course, you can use a book for insight, but not necessary. Okay, so now we were at the point. I want to hear your thoughts or questions or anybody's experiences with any of the little exercises we did. Anyone? I understand it's personal, and if you don't want to share, that's okay.
I'll share.
Okay,
Yeah.
Irene.
So I honestly don't remember any dreams from like yesterday, a couple of days ago, even a week ago.
Okay.
However, I remembered 2 dreams. One was probably, oh my God, 35 years ago, 40 years ago. And the other one was probably 15 years ago. And when I pull those cards, like the cards 1, 2, 3, on both dreams, this is crazy. I picked major arcana cards.
Oh,
So I guess they were significant.
right.
Right?
How did you feel when you picked those cards? Did they make sense to you?
Yes, absolutely. It
Mhm.
was like, well, I can share one dream that's the younger than the other. Was about when I got divorced. I saw that dream that my ex-husband was falling into a pool with a very, very clear water from like a hill. And I was watching him actually falling down, and then he was swimming in the pool, and then there was a like a red hair lady there. So that was one dream. The oldest dream that is probably, my God, it's like probably definitely 30 plus years ago, is originally I'm from the Ukraine. So my dream was that as I had always wanted to live in the United States. So I was getting in the car and I was taking a ride. It's like a mini highway, and it was in a woodsy area, and that was it. So
Oh,
and that
okay.
and that dream also, you said like make a different ending, right? I honestly don't remember the ending of that dream. I just remember that driving, and so I just created while listening to you a happy ending to that dream. And again,
Awesome.
as I said, it was like 3 major arcanas on one for one dream, and then 3 major arcanas for the other dream. It was crazy.
Oh, wow. I got a little chill from
I
that.
know, but tarot never
Yeah.
lies. So
Right, right.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, good. Well, you can, keep diving into that. And I love how you change the ending. I've noticed since I've been doing the practice with the liminal states, being aware of them. If I'm having a bad dream, I can wake myself up and go back in and say, this is a bad dream, almost like doing lucid dreaming, which I can't do when I consciously try, but just from being aware of those liminal states, I think you can do more. So
I will definitely try, because a lot of my dreams were like, like true. So sometimes I'm scared of them. So
yeah. Wow. Okay.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Irene.
Thank you too.
Yeah, great.
I would love to bring up something. This is Suka.
Okay, Suka.
Well, actually, what Irene was just talking about reminded me of some dreams, and then it reminded me of something else. But something else is that a dream journal is really helpful to keep next to your bed. And I love dream work. I love lucid dreaming. I've dealt with astral projection. I've been recently dabbling in remote viewing again, which I did back in the 90s a little bit with not much success, but there's a lot more information about remote viewing now. But the dream journal is great. And I will wake up in the middle of the night. I don't have a light, and I'll literally write in my dream journal. I just make sure everything's clear. next to my bed and a big piece of paper. And I have written down my dream. And when I wake up the next day, I don't even remember having the dream. And I have
Wow.
written down the dream, and it's really difficult to read because I'm not in my, waking state when I wrote it. But that's been super valuable information. I've gotten things like names and locations of things. So I find that super interesting. And then when I just tried the card pull on the dream I had just last night that I mentioned, it may have brought some insight. And actually the card pull made sense, even though my dream was, I guess, heavily confusing.
Mhm.
So I do a lot of symbolic dreaming, and I do a lot of dreaming where I'm in just a black void. So there's not details, there's just focal points. But my dream last night was I was standing in a line with a lot of beings that were not like me. They were about 7 feet tall. They had kind of exaggerated large features, and they were very annoyed with me because I wasn't one of them and I wouldn't understand them. And when my turn, and the line was really long, there were a lot of beings in this line, but I wasn't one of them. And when my turn came, I knelt down in front of some kind of small black animal that's not like an animal we know. It was like the size of a cat, but it wasn't a cat. And it started like its body started convulsing, and it hacked up a tarot card. And I
Whoa.
picked up the tarot card, I know, and I don't remember which card it was. I wish that I had recognized the card. I didn't recognize it, but I knew it was a tarot card of some sort. And people were really interested in what I got. And then they completely changed their attitudes toward me. They realized that I had acted with compassion, and that we were all as one now. We were friends. So when I pulled the cards, I mean, it was an interesting dream with a lot of like imagery and strange things in it. But I pulled the cards and I actually got a lot of pentacles. I got like financial self-sufficiency. I actually accidentally pulled 2 for my second card, and they were justice and strength.
Oh,
My
wow.
first card was 9 of Pentacles. My last card was 8 of Pentacles. So I'm kind of thinking this might have something to do with my business has blown up hugely recently. I've been
Great.
completely overwhelmed hiring an accountant to try to straighten all this out because I'm not very good with finances. And I was actually thinking this dream has something to do with dealing with my business and finances. The strange beings could be money or financial ideas. And then when my turn came, I got this tarot card. Maybe it wasn't really a tarot card, but then they realized I'd acted with compassion and we're now friends. I had written the dream down. I was just reading for you. I think maybe at the end, it means that I'm going to master this once I figure out I make friends with these financial issues.
Oh,
I was
wow. That's a great
thinking
interpretation.
that.
And tonight, or whenever you have time, you could go back into that dream and see if you can
Yes,
see the tarot card.
I would
Perfect
love
opportunity to
to.
do that. But
Now, real quick, the night before, I had a dream that I was just shooting straight up in a black void. And then hovering before me was a huge, bright orange snake that was sitting like Buddha style.
oh, wow.
And I'm like, what in the world would that be? And it was kind of like slowly rising. And so I was thinking about when you mentioned chakra colors, compassion once again came up, and creativity and
Oh, yeah.
emotions. So I thought, well, maybe that had something to do with this one.
That's totally what I felt when you said that. The orange
Yeah.
and the snake a lot of times can
Wisdom.
symbolize the Kundalini energy. And wow, yeah.
Yeah.
So as a person who does dream work, so much dream work,
yeah.
can you see how well the tarot meshes?
Yes, I'm really excited about this idea now, and I'm definitely going to keep a deck next to my bed as well as my notebook. Pretty
Awesome.
excited to go forward with this. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. That was great. So anybody else want to talk?
I can share mine. I guess
Okay.
it's kind of straightforward now that I look at it, but Back when I lived in my hometown, I used to have this reoccurring dream where I would be trying to get somewhere, no matter where it was I was going, but I was trying to reach somewhere, and my movements would be really slow, really dragging, almost like I was going through quicksand. Um, so, I mean, even back then, I was kind of interested in like dream analyzation, and I had a dream dictionary, and a lot of it pointed to just really feeling stuck in life and really feeling like I'm not going anywhere. You know, it was pretty straightforward. So it's funny because when you suggested the spread at first, one of the things that came up was a theme of the wands. I had pretty much all wands come out, and two of wands. I had a knight of wands and an ace of wands. So it was really speaking to like chase a passion, find something that you really want to do, something that can really become like a lucrative
Oh,
opportunity for you, something that really, you know, ignites that drive forward. Um, and it wound up being that I did do that. I moved up to a different city, and my boyfriend helped out, and he was my Knight of Cups. And just by helping me out and getting me up here, I felt it was pretty pertinent to the Six of Pentacles. And it's funny to say, but since I moved up here and started, you know, working and doing something different, I've not dreamed anymore. That dream is gone, and I just can't remember any of my dreams anymore. So I think it was Suka that mentioned having just like a dream journal and write down whatever you happen to think of. You know, if you wake up in the middle of the night and just write down whatever you can think of, and then come back to it in the morning. So definitely need to try that because I know I dream, but I just can't remember anything. So, but yeah,
wow.
so
Well,
it's
that
really
was a
neat.
good experience. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to add too, um, like you said, you had a boyfriend, I have a husband. So it's like I can't wake up and turn the light and write in a book. Although I find it really interesting. Suka does it in the dark and still can read it. I don't know if mine would come out like that.
That's
but
because I have a husband too. They want to
but
turn on the light.
that's when it's a great thing to do would be to grab your phone or even charge your phone in the bathroom, and then you can go into the bathroom and just hit the mic and speak into it and, you know, transcribe it into words. So that's a good thing to do. Or you can just record yourself and play it back or do the transcriber. So, and
This is,
oh, what'd you say?
I was just going to ask kind of a basic techie question because I'm not very good at that. What app or what do you use to record?
You can, I think it depends on what kind of phone you have. I have an Android phone. They have like a microphone, and it just will it will record audio. And then it'll just give you a list of like what you have recorded. But
Okay.
you would, I guess maybe you would want to send an important emails, you know, to yourself. But there's other ones like you can use the Google suite of products, and you can open a new like the Google Sheets, I think it's called, as a Word. That might be the Excel, but it's like Google version of Word. And then if you hit your microphone, you can just talk into it, but it will type.
Oh, okay. I just wondered
Yeah.
what everybody used. I guess I haven't gotten that far in my phone.
Yeah, it's good because like I've just never been the kind of person who could even find a pen in the middle of the night. Like I love the idea of a dream journal, but it just never works for me. Oh, thank you, Ellie. Google Docs is called Transcribe. Oh, and Suka said there are some, yes, there are some dictation apps too. I think Firefly has
Oh,
a
I
good
was
one.
looking in the Google store just now, Play Store, and there's a lot of voice recorders. I use one that's called Super Voice Recorder. Been using
Okay,
that for years.
awesome.
And if you have an iPhone, I mean, it just comes with that. You know, you just hit but I actually downloaded my Super Recorder onto my iPhone too, because it was available in iOS as well. So there's the two platforms, you know.
Thank you. Yes.
Dax, what was the program you said? Was it for Android or for an iPhone?
It works on both. It's called Super Voice Recorder.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's the one I use.
No, Actually, Brenda, I'm a little bit scared about doing voice dictation and going to
Mhm.
the bathroom to do voice dictation because I'm afraid I'll have a hard time getting back into the dream, which I
Yeah.
often do. I'll
Mhm.
just go
Mm.
back into a dream. So if I ever get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I am really like, I keep myself in that liminal state.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
very
writing is
careful.
better than, yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Which
very
is,
personal
yeah,
process. That's why there's
yeah.
no right process. You just have to find what works for you. That's why I gave you a few to try, and maybe none of these will be what
I'm
works for
gonna try it
you.
though. I'm gonna try the dictation. I really like that idea.
Hmm.
But when I walk through the house in that kind of liminal state, I actually see writing on my walls, which
Hmm.
is in really
Wow.
big letters, which is really
That's so
interesting.
cool.
So I make sure to
Well,
write
Yeah.
those
you
down.
you obviously are experienced at it, but for those of you who haven't tried it, the more you do it, the longer you stay, and the
Yeah,
easier it is to get back into.
it's a fun topic. It's very fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's very, it can be very trippy too, and
Mhm.
oh, like I was saying, I think before we started when we were not recording yet, I think I said about having these dreams, and just like the last month or so, maybe even 2 months, it's just been crazy. And I woke up this morning at like 6 something in the morning, and it was just, I couldn't remember, but it was just so intense that I just went right back to sleep, and then slept for another 2 hours and had another intense dream. It's crazy. I'm trying to get to where I can actually, write some of this down before I forget. But I like the trying to program yourself as you're going to sleep, that when you realize you're in the dream, that you can just wake up, jot it down, go right back in. So you're not trying to do it at the end when you wake up, and don't have, like you were saying, Brenda, you don't have those chemicals going.
Right. Yeah.
And so you can do things when you're in theta, and maybe not delta, but when you're in the alpha to theta state,
Hmm.
you can still do things like writing. Dictation is actually more difficult for most people.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
speak is more difficult. Although, people do that too. I mean, I've had people under hypnosis, and I've asked them questions, and they, spoke back. But
Right.
a lot of times I'll do where I'll say, if the answer is yes, lift your finger, and then that way they
Hmm.
only have to go like that instead of speak. And writing is actually easier for most people when they're somewhere between alpha and theta.
Yes. And that's another thing I challenge you to try, is where you don't have to write it or speak it. You just, in your mind, you repeat the
Mm.
synopsis of the dream like 2 or 3 times, and then your mind, you will remember when you wake up, even if you barely remember doing it. So if you get some repetition there, if you can manage that, that also can work.
Yeah, and practicing, and you don't have to necessarily do the lucid dreaming to the point where you're altering the dream in real time. Just becoming aware that you're dreaming, and you can set anchors that'll tell you that. Also, the pretty common one is that you can't see your hands when you're dreaming. So if you notice, oh, I can't see my hands. Oh, I'm dreaming. Oh, okay. Remember this dream. Remember what's going on, and maybe whatever the theme is, say it over and over again in your head. So when you wake up, you'll have that in there, and be able to start remembering the dreams.
Yeah, that's a good, easy tip. Thank you.
Yeah.
There
Programming your
was,
dreams too is really important. Like as you're going to sleep, you're in that state where you're transferring from beta to alpha. And that's right when it's, especially if you want it to be dark, your head's already on the pillow, you're not quite out yet, but you program your dream, what question do you want answered in the dream? And then adding in, I will remember this dream.
Yes, thank you. Yep.
There was some movie that, I don't know if it was a horror movie or I can't remember the movie, but this lady kept dreaming things, and I think it was a TV show. She couldn't figure out if this, whatever it was a demon or something that kept showing up in her bedroom, and she couldn't figure out if it was a real experience or a dream. And so she wrote a poster and put it on the ceiling, and something about it, like you said, Dax, if she finally figured out it was a dream because she couldn't see it or couldn't see her hand or something about it. But the whole movie was just about that phenomena of what you can see and not see when you're actually dreaming.
Oh,
It was interesting.
sounds interesting. Yeah. Yep. So let's see. Oh, and I want to leave you with this too. If you want to try it, and you can do a random pull or a consciously chosen card. And Dax, it's kind of along the lines of what you just said. So you just choose a card and set your intention that tonight I will dream about this card and receive clarification about why I chose it.
Oh, I really like that.
Yep. And then what you can do, because I know it's only 5 o'clock, is either put the card that you choose, since a lot of you might be home, you can put that card right next to your bed. And then before you go to bed, just maybe meditate on it and bring your intention back to get clarity on why you chose it. Or you can take a picture and set a phone reminder.
Oh, I love that. Great suggestion. Set a picture with the reminder.
Yep. Then you also have it documented too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to get really wild, it's like what Melody was saying. Take a picture of the card, blow it up, print it out, and put it on the ceiling right over
Oh
there.
yeah, that
You
would
lay
be
down in the bed and
awesome.
you look up and you see the card.
How trippy. Well, that's why, another suggestion along those lines, when you're in that state, when you're just falling asleep, is to bring the imagery of that card into your mind too.
Another thing you can do is, when it's early and you've chosen a card, like you said, put it next to your bed. You can put it right on your pillow though. I was thinking like put it, you might not want to go through all the machinations of like, setting up printing and sticking it on the ceiling. But if you put it on your pillow, as soon as you go, it's like, oh yeah, the card, and then to do the little programming affirmation here.
Yes. So, and then I also have some resources for you. I have a free intuitive dream analysis group on Facebook where you can drop a dream and have people analyze it. Before the pandemic, I used to just have dream analysis circles where we just analyzed each other's dreams intuitively. So that was fun. If you're interested in that liminal dreaming, there's the website, and a lady named Jennifer Dumpert wrote a great book on that. Also, the process where we chunk out the dream into parts is from Judy Dale, and there's her website, Insight Through Images. Some other great dream references, dreams123.net by J.M. DeBoard. Robert Moss writes some amazing books on dreams and synchronicity and other stuff. And then there's Patricia Garfield Creative Dreaming. So that's all in the presentation. If you want more, there's it's limitless. And I'm glad you guys can see the benefit of playing with your tarot cards and your dreams together, because it really opens things.
And by the way, you could take a quick picture of your screen right now, but these slides are all available. And so if you're listening to this in archive, the link will be below the video. And it's a bit.ly link, you know, a shortened link, bit.ly/slides dreams. And so that'll take you right over to Canva where this is, and you can flip through, you know, click the arrow, and when you get to, you can get to this screen here with the resources. So you don't have to jot all this down right now.
What's the command on a laptop, Android, for screenshot? I can't remember the command.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I use the snippet app, which is in your control panel. I just click on that. I think it might be like Control S or I'm on Mac now, so it's hard for me to remember my Windows, but like Control Alt S might do it.
Let's see.
Don't know.
If Melody, if you want to wait for, like Dax said, he's going to put a link
Okay.
in. These are all live links, so you can just click them.
Yeah, and I already put it in here in the chat. So if you open your chat, and I'll repaste it in here for those that are here live again, so you can get the
Okay.
link. There we go. I just sent it to everybody in the chat.
Okay, I think I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear about your experiences if you try this, and how it goes, and anything else you discover, because it's such a fascinating topic, especially when you combine it with tarot. It just makes it more fun.
Oh, and I just had a thought I want to throw out there. I know there's a lot of people that are, you know, members of the guild that are going to be listening to this while watching this. And some of them, you know, you might be struggling with what to niche into, however you want to pronounce it. And this would be a great area for a niche where you work with people, not everything that people are going to come to tarot readers for, but instead niche down to a specific thing. And you can niche down to dream interpretation.
Yep.
And use all of these techniques that Brenda has given you, and just start working on it with people, get really good at it. And you could become the expert, you know? So
Yeah, they go together so well. I mean, I think we need more. And I just think when you start doing this, your tarot practice will get better. Your dreams will bring more clarity. They really just go so well together.
yeah, and you know, dreams is something almost everybody experiences, and it's a big thing. And a lot of people have trouble with the interpretation. So it makes it so, you know, I mean, look how many movies and TV shows have the dream element in it, and like Leonardo DiCaprio and Inception, and you know, things like that. In fact, you know, what we're doing here with that tarot card, or with programming your dreams, you're kind of like doing Inception in real life. It's kind of cool. You know, you're putting things that are going to appear in your dream, you know, which is really neat.
That's true. And then you're adding the esoteric layer of the tarot, you know, to that. So how powerful is that? Super powerful.
Yeah, you can do a whole bunch of things. If you put out content, maybe you do a YouTube channel, maybe you do a podcast, maybe you do blogs, or, you know, postings on social media and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and, you know, everything that's out there. What's the real big one now, Sharona? The one that's really popular. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's all video, but really short clips. What is that? My mind's just blanking right now. I'm too old. It's after my
TikTok,
time.
yeah.
TikTok, that's the one I was trying to think of, like TikTok. And just imagine you can put little snippets out about dreams, you know. Did you know, here's a way to remember your dreams. Here's a way to know you're in the dreams. Here's a way to, you know, you could do like so much content on this and just be the expert on dreams and dreams analysis and use tarot.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any suggestions or questions, or want to share?
I figured it out. You hit print screen and then you pick
Oh.
the icon of whether you want a circle or draw a square. And so you basically draw the part of the screen you want to copy and you save it into the, whatever you call that, and then you save it like a picture.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. On your MacBook, you just take your hand and you go like that on your pad, and it'll bring up
Wow.
your apps, and you just click on there's a way to do it with shortcuts too, but I just go in and click for the screenshot, and it brings it up, and you can size it. You can do the whole screen, or you can do part of the screen. You can also do video, and you just click, capture, and it pops it right on your desktop. So that's how you do it if you're on Mac. Anything else? Oh, there's comments in the chat here. I can't read. I see a great workshop from Mary Brown. Sorry she missed the start there, but you have to listen to the replay, Mary. It was really, really good. Super class from Suka. All righty. Anything else?
That's it.
Are we good?
Everybody try this.
This was
The good thing is
great.
you have every night you have another chance to do something different, right?
Mhm. I got a lot of useful tips, and I'm going to try to remember my dreams now, and I'm going to try to use tarot to do it.
Yeah.
It's great because I really feel, these intense dreams. I'll wake up and I know that this intense, really vivid dream that I was going through had important information. I know that part, but I don't know what it was.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get better at this. Remember the dream thing, because I know there's something just right there. It's like when you have something on the tip of your tongue, it's like, oh God, it's right there, and I know it's something really big. And I just like, yeah, gotta try to remember them dreams. Well, I'm glad
Well, that's where
everybody.
you can consciously step back into it too.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how much comes back to you.
I haven't really tried that a lot recently. That's what I should try, is the stepping back in.
Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. This was a
Thank
lot of
you
fun.
guys. I'd love to hear how it goes. Dax,
Yeah.
I'd love to hear in a month or so, like what happened.
We'll have to have another gathering on dreams.
Yes. Yep. Sounds
That'd
good to
be fun.
me.
We can
Thank you,
share,
Brenda.
all of us can share, how it worked for us too.
Yeah.
And if
Well,
anybody
let's do
got
it.
into like doing dreams as their niche, that would be cool
Right.
too. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bye everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.